The wait for faithful praying for an ASI survey to bring out the truth on Gyanvapi continues. The Allahabad High Court will pronounce its verdict on petition for the ASI survey on the 3rd of August. Till then, there will be an interim stay on the Varanasi District Court's order allowing a detailed scientific survey of the mosque complex. The entire case hinges on one question. Was Gyanvapi Mosque built over ruins of ancient Hindu temple? The Hindu side has been insisting that there's no better way than an authentic ASI survey to answer that question, which will provide scientific basis to determine which set of devotees will have greater claim on this place of worship. While the Muslim side claims that the mosque has been in place for 1,000 years, the Hindus cite ancient scriptures to claim the mosque was built over ruins of a famous Shiva temple destroyed by the invaders.
पहली बात तो ये है कि कोई पेंट वहाँ सन 91 से अब तक नहीं हुआ। पहली बात तो क्योंकि वहाँ जो पहरे लगे हैं 93 से अंदर कोई सामान जाता ही नहीं, तो फिर पेंट कब हो गया? और पूरा बेशक के हवाले है। ये कहना एकदम झूठ है। जो कमीशन की कार्रवाई हुई थी उसका फोटो कंप्यूटराइज बना करके तोड़ मड़ोड़ के जो आज न्यायालय में पेश किया गया है वह फोटो कोई एविडेंस नहीं है।
और कोर्ट स्पॉट पोजीशन जानने के लिए कमीशन जारी कर सकते हैं। एएसआई को राम मंदिर केस में पैरा 661 में एक्सपर्ट बॉडी माना गया है और ये एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन है। उसके बाद भी मुस्लिम पक्ष उसमें फर्दर कह सकता है कि उसको डिसबिलीव किया जाए, फर्दर स्क्रूटनी उसकी हो सकती है, पर यह नहीं कहा जा सकता है कि एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन ना है।
While the court decides the merits of a survey and if it can be done without impacting the character of the place of worship, we bring you latest pictures accessed in previous surveys conducted at the site and the clues that they offer to what is likely to be hidden in Gyanvapi's Garbhagriha, a secret that may unlock the doors for us.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me on the Gyanvapi debate tonight is Vishnu Jain, advocate representing the Hindu side, and he's very, very popular these days on television screens, arguing the matter on television as well as in the courts. On the other side, my good old friend, Mr. Varis Pathan from the AIMIM, advocate and former MLA. Thank you for both of you joining me on this debate. And I once again ask you, Varis Pathan, new evidence keeps coming in. Now there are pictures, there are statues that have been unearthed. I just want to ask you, what will happen, whether there will be a survey or not will be decided by the Honorable High Court and the Supreme Court who are, looking at this matter. But I want to ask you, do you not want facts to come to the table? Facts on whether there was an ancient temple that was destroyed before the Gyanvapi Mosque was made on it?
Well, Navika, let me remind you, an order was passed by the Varanasi District Court on July 21st directing the ASI survey, which was challenged before the Honorable Court by the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee. The Honorable Supreme Court directed them to appear before the Allahabad High Court. In the meantime, the status quo to be maintained order was passed and they directed that the ASI survey should not take place till 5 p.m. on the 26th. They moved the Honorable Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court gave a hearing and now the matter is posted for 3rd of August, and in the meantime the status quo to be maintained and it is the order of the lower court is stayed. Now, coming back to what happened in the court was the arguments was done by the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee, and they said that we apprehended if they try to excavate or they try to do survey the structure. This is a 1,000-year-old structure where the mosque is there. It might get disturbed. It may get demolished, something like that may happen. So there was an apprehension on the mind of the petitioners who argued before the court. And let me say verbatim what the Honorable Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court has stated so during the arguments, and I quote, the Hindu side submission to the ASI team is waiting Chief Justice Pritinker Diwaker said, I am not satisfied with what you are going to do. On their submission that the structure won't be damaged, he said, are you going to drill or is it like a vacuum cleaner? Have you ever done this work? When ASI said, the Chief Justice asked if there are photos of this project, the court is putting strong doubts to the work to be carried out by you, he said. So this was the apprehension which was shown by the Honorable Chief Justice who was hearing the matter today in the Allahabad High Court. And now the matter is posted on the 3rd of August. And I am sure and I feel, my gut feeling says that when the judge will come to deliver the judgment, it will be in a positive for the Anjuman Intizamiya Committee, because I reiterate again, time and again, that the Places of Worship Act was enacted with a particular view in mind, and the aim and was there to ensure that all the structures prior to 15 August 1947 are not disturbed. The nature and character of the structures cannot be changed. So with an qualified intention, they want to go there and conduct a survey. What is the use of survey now? Why do they want? Earlier, the carbon dating petition was rejected.
Right.
Earlier, the Allahabad High Court has directed that prayers should be allowed.
Are you saying, Vishnu Jain ji, is Mr. Varis Pathan saying that the Varanasi district court's order was also nullified because he says your prayer before the court is nullified because you want to cause a change in the existing structure and therefore your intent is nullified. So we go back to the question, is the Varanasi district court's order also nullified, going by what Mr. Varis Pathan is saying?
See, let me answer everything one by one. First of all, the fact of the matter is, and I must highlight this on your show, that whatever was argued by us before the Honorable Court was not reported correctly by certain sections of the media. Only one side was quoted, and that's why Varis Bhai, I think, is swayed away by one of the comments. Varis Bhai, please appreciate the Honorable Court called the director of the ASI, and the director of the ASI satisfied the Honorable Court as to what will be the mechanism by which this survey will be done. The Honorable Court was also apprised with the fact that how this survey will be done. Navika, let me also tell you that before the Honorable Court, the director of the ASI, the additional director of the ASI, filed an affidavit saying that they will not demolish or damage the structure, and then the court observed then Mr. Naqvi, now what remains after this affidavit? But this will not be quoted by Varis Bhai. He will quote the stage which was prior to ASI coming into the picture before the Honorable Court. But he will not quote that what was the observation of the court when the ASI satisfied the court. No. Second point, Navika, Varis Bhai in his arguments said that this masjid is 1000 years old. Just a minute, sir. I did not interrupt you in your when you were speaking. So just a minute, sir. Let me finish. You said in your while you were just narrating your story to Navika, yes, that this structure is 1000 years old. I am thankful to you, sir, to admit that this structure is 1000 years old, because your counsel before the court argued that this structure was built in 1669, and you are saying this structure is 1000 years old. That's precisely our case, and that's why we are saying that anyways, if it's a mistake, then you can correct it. But the argument of your counsel before the Honorable High Court is that this structure was built by Aurangzeb in 1669. So you decide whether it is 1000 years old or in 1669. The third point is this, Navika, that there is no malified in the order of the district court. I have satisfied before the Honorable High Court 11 judgments, right from Ram Mandir till different High Courts we have cited before the Honorable High Court, where it has been held that ASI survey can be ordered. ASI is an expert body, and ASI survey can be ordered to collect evidence, and this survey can be ordered at any stage. Navika, let me also quote you 2021 SCC page 1, para 661, where the Supreme Court 5-judge bench judgment has said that ASI is the most expert body in this country and the premium institution of the country. We have also quoted various paragraphs of Ram Mandir judgment before the Honorable Allahabad High Court to prove and show that the evidence collected by the ASI will be an evidence in the suit, and both the parties have the right to challenge that evidence. How can Varis Bhai today assume that this evidence will be against him? This evidence which will be led by the ASI, this report, this survey commission which will be led by the ASI, they can very well say that look here, this so-called mosque was built by Aurangzeb in 1669. But the fact of the matter is that, Navika, Varis Bhai did not want any kind of ASI survey.
The ASI was very much present there.
Well, let me.
Yes,
let
the
me,
ASI was very much called by the Chief Justice of the ASI team was very much present in the court. And in front of them, the Chief Justice
let me just
submission which I have stated before the nation. Yes,
You guys,
Vishnu Jain
let me just 1 minute, Varis Pathanji. I want to bring to you in the Revenue Commissioner's survey there are 6 new pictures that have come out.
This can't be one-sided, Navika. Navika, this can't be one-sided.
Yes, it is a sensitive issue, and
you cannot argue on the basis
it
of
will not be
the
one-sided.
court.
Vishnu Jain is lying.
No, this cannot be one-sided.
The ASI was very much present.
I'm saying, sir, you are lying. Whatever have been the observations of the court, you are just presenting before the nation one-sided. Whatever
Mr. Varis Pathan, 1 minute. Gentlemen, do not lose your cool. 1 minute. You are both advocates and you are both people of law. Let me bring little peace on the panel. Mr. Varis Pathan, let me ask you this. There are Revenue Commissioner surveys which show 6 new pictures. One is an idol that was found inside Gyanvapi. There is a remain of a leg of a broken idol. There is a statue called the Vara Avatar that has been found. There is a red stone gate which was found shut, but a small makeshift door has been found. Also found is lotus symbol which is found on the pillar, and there is a beetle leaf pattern which is the Kalash pattern which is used in Hindu construction. The question I'm asking you is, there are some evidences of some of these structures, some of these inscriptions. On the other side, there is the ask of an ASI survey on this. My question to you is, to call a court's order malified, I don't think we are qualified. That only a higher court can say that, if it is. So we should not get into that space. The second is, do you want to know the fact, or do you only want to stay that ye to mera hai, hum nahi denge?
Order is challenged. The matter is sub judice. Now allow me to make my point. If you feel, just now Vishnu Jain say ASI was not present, let me remind him, he's lying. The ASI was present. In presence of the ASI, the Chief Justice has said this thing. So why to lie before the nation? Second point which you asked, Navika, that some photographs have emerged. The matter is sub judice. It is kept for orders. Why did they not submit the photographs to the Honorable Court today to say that an order is passed there?
It is only after the remarks of
if they have the evidence with them. No, well, you were making your point. I was quite. See, this is the thing. When you show truth, they were interpreting in between me. Allow me to make my point, Mr. Vishnu Jain, my learned friend. Let me make. Then you will get enough opportunity, because Navika will give you enough opportunity. Let me make my point, sir. If you have got all these photographs which you are showing to the nation through the television channel, you should have very well placed it before the court, before the Chief Justice when he is passing the order on the 3rd of August. Place it before him. And what did the petitioner's argument? The Ram Janmabhoomi case order, the survey was passed after collection of oral evidence. Where is the oral evidence with you? You just want to conduct a survey without having anything with you. You just have some photographs you want to show on that. But let me tell you, Navika, why do they want to have it now? Why such a hurry? Through what knowledge I have and what I have read it is, the woman's petitioner had told the lower court earlier that there is no proof of presence of Hindu deities inside the mosque. They had said this earlier. Now ASI must gather them. That is what they want to come before. So you are asking someone to gather proof, which is basically illegal. That is why we have challenged the order. The trust committee, which have got senior counsel with them, like Mr. Naqvi representing them in the Allahabad High Court, like Mr. Ahmadi representing him in the Honorable Supreme Court. They are very well versed with these laws, and they are arguing that at the status quo is maintained. The ASI is stopped. They were present in the court. They were ordered to remain present in the court by the Chief Justice.
No, Varis Pathan, the survey is to find the proof. Today we don't know. We have some idea, but today there is no proof. The survey of the ASI is meant to get the proof. Why don't you want the survey to happen is the only question I want to ask you.
We
Vishnu
are
Jain,
apprehending, as the
respond.
Chief Justice of India, Allahabad High Court has said rightly today, that I doubt. I have doubts. He is in the open court. He has said, I was not present. I am reading from whatever is stated by your media. He said, I have apprehension, that I have doubts on your survey. It is clear from it. Even we have doubt that they might try to disturb the structure. Something might happen. The protected area which is given by the Supreme Court, that may also be disturbed. So why do they want to have a survey matter? Is something. Let the Supreme Court decide on the matter. Then
Vishnu
we'll
Jain, all the protected monuments in this country are protected by the Archaeological Survey of India, but the Archaeological Survey is now being suspected that it will damage the monument at Gyanvapi. Is that a correct premise?
See, Navika, I think correct facts are not brought before you, and let me tell you that I was there in the court yesterday when the matter was argued from 9:30 till 1. At one point of time during the hearing, Varis Bhai is right. The Honorable Court observed when
Whether the ASI was there or
called
no?
upon the Additional Solicitor General of India to explain. Just a minute, sir. Let me complete. Let me finish. The Honorable High Court called upon the Additional Solicitor of India to explain that how this survey will be conducted, and the Additional Solicitor General of India said that we will call the additional director. He is in Varanasi. He will come and explain before the Honorable Court that how this survey will be conducted. It is at that point of time the Honorable High Court said that alright, you very well call your officer, because we are not able to understand from you as to how this mechanism will happen. It is on this reporting Varis Bhai is quoting before this Honorable show. At the same time, in the same breath, at 1 o'clock when the court had risen, at 4:30 the court again assembled after a full court meeting, and at 4:30 the additional director of ASI was present before the Honorable Court. He came from Varanasi, and he demonstrated before the court that how this survey is going to happen. He also filed an affidavit of 21 paragraphs as to there will be no, to the effect that there will be no damage to the structure and where all this survey has to be carried out. He also explained before the Honorable High Court that how the GPR and various other machines function, and after that the Honorable Allahabad High Court observed that Mr. Naqvi, what remains now? What is your apprehension now? Then, so this is the fact, but this was not reported, this was not told to anyone. The second point is this: there was an argument that since
reported.
Sir, now I am telling you, sir, if you don't want to believe that.
Vishnu, just give me 10 seconds to rebut, then you can go on. On their submission that the structure won't be damaged, he asked, are you going to drill or is it like a vacuum cleaner? Have you ever done this work earlier? When the ASI said they have, the Chief Justice asked, there are photos of those projects. The court is putting strong doubts to the work to be carried out by you. He said, this is from what has happened in the court. You were present. I am reading from whatever has happened in the court before the entire nation. Let them know this is the truth.
Varis Pathanji, you have your opinion, but you were not present in the court. Vishnu Jain ji has his pleadings before the court, but he was present there. Well, that is the Chief Justice's opinion at one point, which Mr. Vishnu Jain has said. Later on, there was...
They have reported verbatim what the court said. You may be doubting your journalism or your journalist friend, but I do have friends who are quoting directly from the court verbatim. Yeah.
Mr. Vishnu Jain, is this the result of the deep mistrust that exists now between the two sides after the Ayodhya temple dispute went in favor of the Hindus following an Archaeological Survey of India? Is this the mistrust that is really being displayed here?
See, I think, Navika, the fact of the matter is that the building which exists in settlement plot number 9130, which is called as Gyanvapi Mosque, it is very much evident from bare looking at the building that this building is a structure of an old Hindu temple. But someone in this country wants to use this building as their mosque in violation of Islamic law, in total violation of Places of Worship Act, in violation of Kashi Vishwanath Act 1983, or in violation of Waqf Act 1995. But be that as it may, the fact of the matter is, Navika, that they do not want the truth to come out. They do not want this survey to happen, because the fact of the matter is that when ASI will do the survey and they will survey and investigate into the western wall, it will be ascertained that whether western wall is having the characteristics of a mosque or of a temple. It will be ascertained, Navika, when there is a sealed room inside the central dome, and the ASI will go beneath that sealed room. Through various modern techniques, it will be ascertained that what's beneath the central dome, what's there to hide beneath the central dome. And ASI is categorically saying, Navika, that the structure will not be damaged. There will be no excavation.
Well, you are discussing the merits of the case without any
let me, Mr. Varis Pathan, even in the Ayodhya judgment, the ASI gave an opinion as an opinion of the expert body. And may I read at point number 490 from the ASI survey of the Ayodhya. Archaeology as a science draws on multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary approaches in considering the nature of archaeological evidence. It is important to remember that archaeology is a branch of knowledge that draws sustenance from the science of learning, the wisdom of experience, and the vision which underlines the process of interpretation. As a discipline, it nurtures a trained mind. It relies on a cross-fertilization of other disciplines. Yes. As an art, it relies on a vision which is realized through years of commitment in pursuit of knowledge. So, the Supreme Court has expressed faith in the way the Archaeological Survey functions. My limited point to you is, if there is a survey which satisfies... Yeah, so what is your objection to ASI?
No, Navika, let me tell you. Now, Navika, I am sure, and you will also agree with me, that the learned Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court is well versed with the law. He knows the facts more than you and me, and looking into the facts, taking both the sides, hearing after listening to both the sides' submission, he has come to a conclusion that he has doubts. He said so in the open court, and so he stayed the order, and now
he has doubts.
Vishnu Jain, on the 3rd of August.
Varis Pathan stuck on the word doubts used by the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court. How do you dispel that these doubts have been expressed?
He said
the doubts have been expressed. How can you run away from that?
See, I think, Navika, I have explained myself, I think, in the most assertive way I can. But I think if someone doesn't want to believe, then we have to wait for the judgment to come on 3rd of August. But be that as it may, the fact of the matter is, Navika, that the opinion of some... I just want to put this logic before you. If there is a issue on a document, if there is an issue on a document and the court wants a report of the handwriting expert, then the other person will say that no, we do not believe into handwriting expert. If there is some crime which has been committed and the doctor wants to do the post-mortem, a person is saying no, don't do the post-mortem, we don't believe in post-mortem reports. If there is something that a person wants to have various different tests to establish before the court a point of view, then the other side is saying
clearly it's a matter that only the courts can take cognizance of and find a middle way. At the moment, of course, both sides sticking to their guns, but 3rd of August is the next day. In the meanwhile, these new pictures do add more questions to those who are looking to know what is the real truth. Leaving it at that, thank you very much, Vishnu Jain, and thank you, Varis Pathan, for joining me on the Newshour tonight. And thank you, viewers, for joining me on the Newshour. Good night and be safe.